Good morning. It's Tuesday, the day of the caucus in Minnesota. Today, people will be heading to their caucus locations throughout the state. Some Democrat, others Republican. And I think it's important for people to speak out on why they're voting for whom they're voting. We hear a lot of rhetoric, a lot of this guy is bad or this lady is bad, or we hear a lot of that, but we don't hear a lot of why people vote for whom they're voting for. I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, and I will tell you why I am voting for Bernie Sanders. Hopefully you will be able to see this picture. This is my family. I have a very fortunate life. So many people don't have a family. And so I count myself as very, very lucky. This picture contains pictures of my 4 children. I have 3 sons and a daughter. It contains a picture of all my daughter-in-laws, and it's missing my son-in-law. I believe he was taking the picture. It contains all of my grandchildren. I have 7 grandchildren, and like I said, I'm extremely lucky to have such a wonderful family. My grandchildren range from this fellow right here. That's Asher. He's an artist. He loves the outdoors. And the youngest is his sister, Naseel, and she likes to have tea parties. In between there, I have children who like dinosaurs, and others who like music and all manner of things, playing video games, everything. They're the reason I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. The world is changing rapidly. Climate change is coming. Whether we choose to believe it or choose not to believe it, it really doesn't matter. Science is that way. It is what it is. And climate change is happening. I want a world to turn over to my grandchildren that has at least most of what I was fortunate enough to enjoy. We need somebody like Bernie Sanders who recognizes that climate change is the single greatest threat facing not only America, but the whole world. My grandchildren, I have 4 grandsons and 3 granddaughters. I don't want them to have to face the prospect of everlasting war. We need a candidate like Bernie Sanders that will be putting an end to this everlasting, forever war. These 2 people over here on this side, that's Andrea, sweetest girl you'll ever know. And that's her husband, my son, Nick. Several years back, Nick, who's always worked hard, he's a diesel mechanic, salt of the earth kind of guy, had health benefits, were living the American dream, had a home, and then they suffered a terrible, terrible loss, the loss of a child in the hospital. Now, even though he had insurance, even though he worked hard every day, the bank took his home, insurance bills, hospital bills mounted up. He filed bankruptcy. Even though he worked every day, played by the rules, had health insurance, the bank, the pharmaceuticals, and the medical industry took virtually every monetary thing he had. That's why I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. He alone will stand up against all of those companies, all of those banks, and say enough is enough. And I encourage you to think about it. To think, you don't like my family? Fine. Find a family that you do like. And think about them. Think about the children. Think about the elderly. Caucus today for Bernie Sanders. Thank you.